We're up to Pevov.
Pevov?
Yeah, it's going.
We're up Meshivas Nefesh Pevov. This is Rustin's seminal course on how to learn Sifrei Musar and how to take Musar the right way so that it doesn't break you, it just uplifts you. That's what he's trying to do. That's what he's doing for us here. So there are a lot of people you meet here in this world. You meet people, they really want to be good, they try to say, well, there's Sifrei Musar, it kills me. Learn Musar, either you take it seriously, as one Mashkiach told me, if you take it seriously, you go crazy. And if you don't take it seriously, so then what are you learning from? Yeah, he was talking about Muslim. I'm just saying that I met a lot. He was talking about thinking about the day of leaving the world. But I say that people say the same thing about Muslim. I can tell you. If you take it seriously, you feel like you're going to lose it. And if you don't take it seriously, so what are you learning for? It's like not, you have a defense up. You're not paying. So what's the point? They talk about the greatness. Oh my goodness! You know what you did when you did this Avera? Oh, oy vavoy, oy vavoy. Yeah, you mamish, you nuked all these worlds. Who knows what you did? So what now? What's Gehenna? Meshivas Chochmah describes it very carefully. What is Gehenna? I'm aware of person goes Gehenna. You know, as we're supposed not to say what he's saying, right? These are the different shittas of what Gehenna is. Chal, Hashem Tov. I don't know if you mentioned Hashem Tov. Really, wrote two lechayra about that. Gehenna is not a physical sensation, it's embarrassment, it's shame, it's humiliation, which is very, very painful. It's a process to purify the soul so that we can accept the light of Hashem in undiluted ways. It shouldn't be painful, like the Kedusha is painful until it burns out, whatever the Pshat is, whatever that might mean. Others say maybe Kipshuto. We don't need to get into Shitas. All we know is Gehenna is a bad place, we don't want to get there. We don't know what it is exactly, but whatever it is, we don't want to be there. Thank you. If you learn like Gehenna, all these graphic descriptions, whether or not it means literally or figuratively, it's very scary, hair-raising stuff. To be married, to be good, because moms get scared when you get it today. So you share 30, 40 years ago, I heard about it. People used to know, the from Tzedlach, no, don't go to the shir unless you're, 2 feet. Don't, if you're going to the shir and Muslim and getting depressed, that is not for you. The Rosh said, too strong. This gets very afraid. So what, I read this book to get afraid? To have a breakdown? That's why I'm learning this? You go crazy. Another side comes after him. This is before I learned Musar. This is when I had my downs, but I wasn't depressed. Now I'm depressed. I go around, I'm just afraid, I feel depressed. I feel like I'm being pursued. I feel like there's no way I can get out of these problems. So what do I do now? So most people, their answer is, okay, you have to drop this Musar. The Musar is not for you. It's not for you now. Whatever. That's how most people relate. I should find a person can really fall big. He has a Musar, tries to live up to it, and he doesn't manage, and then he just falls all the way. Very far. Person feels so bad, he feels so guilty, he tried so hard, it didn't work, it says you have to be this in this way, like a box which he constructs in his mind. And if you're not this in this way, you're bad, you're not good, this is finished, this is impossible for me. So I have to object, I have to reject this. Dr. Keller says every person is naturally drawn after kfir. Every person doesn't like it, they like vacation, like to relax. So that's why he says it's natural. He said they call it Menschrecht in his country, the countries there in Poland and other places, they call the person's rights as a human being, to get times off, easy times of ease, He says natural. He said that's why the Torah says, don't stray after your heart and after your eyes. It's interesting, after your heart means heresy, and after your eyes means licentiousness. So he said, you think maybe it should be the other way. What's more drawing to a person? You think morality, acting bad in these areas is a very, very, very serious problem. Heresy. No. So he says, no, it works the other way. Generally speaking, a person has this problem with his mood is not strong, and then he can fall. And every person is drawn after this element, this part of him, he feels drawn very strongly after not in the way of mood. It's very, very difficult. He has to always work hard. So that's what the Pasuk is telling you. The Pasuk is telling you. So Rabbi Yonah says a person, says if you go through the carrier, Rabbi Yonah says it means mikra. A person feels everything happens just by accident. It's a person, again, a natural tendency. I don't want to think deeply. I don't want to, again, it's like this laziness. He doesn't want to sit and think about it. oh, Muna, Prusa, Muna, I don't, just leave me alone. Whatever happens, happens. Leave me be. That person has this tendency, even if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He doesn't care if it makes sense. He just wants to be left alone and do whatever he feels like doing. That's the way a person has naturally. So the person has to be very careful. Nobody can say, oh, I have a Muna, leave me alone. It's going to be okay. So the Pasuk says, we say it a few times a day. It's to remind us. You're supposed to think about it, what it means. You have to be very careful, not to stray out to your heart. Your eyes. One of the 6 mitzvahs to is one of the 6 perpetual mitzvahs. It's not so simple. Just say, oh, it's not already you're doing it. Especially today with the fear of the bound. In our day, it's a million times more serious to work at a Muna than his time. No computers, there was no, people were, whatever they were, they had other problems. But today, it's a million times harder. Fine, so what do you do now? A person feels so bad, he falls to kfirs. He goes after that natural part of him that wants to throw away any yoke. Person did not have a true connection to the true tzaddikim. He did not understand what they were telling him, have a true understanding of what is Musar about. Why are they teaching me how bad my affairs are? To make me feel bad? No. So then why? What's it for? How am I supposed to take this when I learn something? Lashon Hara, oh my gosh, you have no idea what you're doing. Lashon Hara, you're transferring your schusim to somebody else. And saying, if you've guided someone and you yell at him, he doesn't answer you, you better go after him and try to make it up with him. If not, then avoid the tzaddikim. You learn this, you just say, oh my goodness, you gotta hurry up. You gotta don't just listen, get it back. Make it up to him, you feel like, what is this for? It'll make you feel bad. I gave people the head. What now? Now what? The person should feel bad. He said, that's not what it's for. Because the Dasamit didn't know what it really is for. We'll see right now what it's for. Strengthen themselves and to give themselves vitality. That's what they have to know how to do, even when they're confronted with Musar. That's the point of doing the Musar. I am so sunk in my ways, it's impossible for me to do true. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, see? Maybe I thought there's hope, but see what it says? Forget it. It's over. More and more. The more you learn, the further away he falls. But Rav says this is the main fight of Amalek. Amalek makes a person cold and makes a person weak. Especially when it's weak, he makes him cold and it falls away. That's the fight. We fight with Amalek. This is our fight. No, I'm not giving up. I'm not paying attention to the negative.
Who's Amalek today? Who's Amalek today?
He says Amalek today is in every person. That's what it says. We're Amalek today, unfortunately. Part of us is Amalek. And that's the part of a person that's trying to kill him. Wants to ruin the Amalek. That part of the person is the Amalek. And he has to fight back. Like it also says in there, one of the Pshat said, Ram, other place, also this idea that makes you feel everything is also in a mikra. Whatever. It'll happen somehow. Whatever. Don't think too much. What happens somehow? The Ibn Ezra, the famous story of Ibn Ezra. Ibn Ezra, he was with some Goyish philosopher. I told this, remember, not too long ago maybe. He was with some Goyish philosopher, and he started a poem, missing a line or two, and he's called out from their discussion to Emunah. And Ibn Ezra was a very big scholar, and he looks at the poem, he finishes it. Same length of the handwriting looked similar enough. And this non-Jew comes back, he looks and says, hey, we finished the poem, great ending. He said, well, I spilled ink, so he said, get out of here, don't worry, what are you talking about? What nonsense, give me a break. Listen, no offense, but if you don't believe this could happen, how can you believe the world just happened? Random, as if random does anything, nothing ever happens for me. Chaos. They had 20 monkeys banging this typewriter, all nice. Someone did an experiment. The monkeys didn't even manage to write anything. One monkey wrote like an M or an L or some one letter, the rest of them trashed the typewriters. That's like such a joke around, like a monkey's gonna, that's so ridiculous. Yeah. Now, can't call my shirang, you're so unnation. Nothing made ask me this. We always said, "Is it ikar b'chet b'chos b'chos." Aber Shem is born from La'amo. Shem has a son his nation. But Cholech Aleinu Ha'or Niflo. I didn't think Yador. Chesed Yerusha Mashiach. Hashem HaZachmanis, He gives us an illumination from the tzaddikim of the generation, a wondrous illumination, which is from the fear that one gets from Mashiach. Sheyamshich yer b'seichel elyon kol kach, hashlikir yer tzoreva. Person is able to draw the yireh with such a supernal illumination that he's not gonna fall. He's not going to fall from it. It's for good. I feel the Grush Baruch image of the absolute worst person, the worst possible person. Feel even the person who's so far away, he'll know, no, there's no Yush anyway. Even for you, and even reading this is still no Yush. Like maybe, I'm reading all these terrible things. Well, tell us right now. When a person understands there's no Yush, and that the point of all these teachings is not to make me feel bad. And that feeling bad is totally unproductive. It's not doing anything good. Except if it really, on the rare times it is, a person really changed direction. In the Hanami, he feels bad and then he makes a new start. It really goes. That's when it's good. But that's like the rest of that happens usually pretty quickly. It doesn't. A person who's very depressed, he's not going to get there usually. That's not how it works. A person he's pretty up and he's working on it. He's germinating in it. He wants to change, wants to direction. That could work. But if a person is feeling bad about himself, feels depressed, he doesn't, like you said, usually just goes to fears, goes to bad places, it's impossible to finish. Adrab. Not only will he not fall by learning about Yiras Onish, on the contrary, Yiras Onish yichazek es atzmo limtzo ba'atzmikos tovos. I'm afraid of Onish. Okay? Now it's time to strengthen myself and really search for good points. Samech es atzmo l'meshehu b'zer Yisrael. This time a Jew, Baruch Hashem, I'm Jewish. Isn't this? Thank you, Hashem. Right? The more you learn this, right? You learn something. Right? What the Shahara does, wow. Now I'm going to be happy. That's going to cause you. So he says, what does that mean? How do you get that? Person is Yirsa Onish, he's going to be happy. Do you think it's mamish? You tell someone this. Yeah, you tell someone this, it sounds like what we call a Taz Nesasre. It's an oxymoron, it's impossible to be put together. Because usually you say, Yirsa Onish makes me depressed. Simcha is when I forget about Yirsa Onish. So how am I supposed to reconcile the two things? Oh, you're afraid of Onish. So you have to listen to the guys who know what they're talking about. What did they say? They say that one, even the lowest of the low, the worst of the worst, is Chazak is also a Simcha Tamid, strengthen himself, enjoy always. Api Darke Eitosem Akdeshus, through the path of their aces. Nachman. Here Sha'inish Techel the kind of tzaddikim amitim, Yiras Onish. The fear of punishment will force him to fulfill the words of the truth. That one, even the worst of the worst, is Chazik, is also the simple Tamid, strengthen himself from simple always, Api Darke Eitosem Akdeshus, the ways of their aces. We certainly have to be very, very afraid to listen to their true words. Well, the kind of the emes is filled with truth. What does it say? What one thing to another? He said, when you learn the Torah, when you learn all the terrible clothes, you have to. So we have the klola, comes the klola, and it says, no, yet. This all happened because you weren't happy. How am I really happy after reading with the klola? We read all these terrible curses, 98 terrible curses, and then in the middle there, because you have to be happy because of these curses. So it says, yeah, that's right, you have to know, you have to really, 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 in depth, understand in depth. The next step he continues very, very, very powerfully. But is you have to come in depth and you have to realize that, listen, who revealed these teachings? Tzaddikim. Torah is not so clear what, when, and how. There's certain guidelines. Torah, they have a Torah Shval Peh, Torah Shval Sapim, you have oral Torah, you have a written Torah. The written Torah is not so clear. What a person usually, you see, Well, Shabbos, what's he doing usually? It's stuff more that's in Joshua Peh, generally speaking. Always a person, but even Chashon, whatever it may be, he said you have to know that there are guides. And the guides tell us that tshuva always helps no matter what. The guides tell us to keep working, not to give up. So if that's what the guides tell you, you have to listen. You can't just say, it's only true to my detriment. The only thing that's true is the negative. The minus is true. Positive, no, that can't be true. You can't say that. That doesn't work. Why not? Because we have to know we're here for our benefit. That's what the Maimon Sharm explains, and the Gemara says, the Rebbe says also. It comes out of Sharm also that sugya there in Eruvin. It says that Machlokas B'Sham B'Hillel, what were we created for? Yeah, whether for good or for bad. So it comes out. B'Hillel admits to B'Shammai. At first they say no, for good and then no, right? No, actually, never all right. You bash the masa. You should search your deeds. Right? Different. You have to work on yourself. Now that you're here, never. That's what it sounds like. You have to at least do something. Do what you can. Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds something like that. So like I said, the Maimon Sharm, the Guru, and the Rebbe all explain that cannot mean literally, because it means that Hashem didn't do you a favor to be here. The whole idea of being here is that Hashem wants to make it, wants to do good. So what's the deal? So first of all, the Tosar Rosh, I think, brings also something similar. The Tosar Rosh says, it's only talking about, right there in the Gemara, area that was given, I think, right there in the Gemara, it says, he says, it's talking about a door that they have no tesh that's indicative. People walking in darkness, they have no connection to any holy people who are connected to holiness. So these people, it's not so, they're here, they do their best, but never, not so bad. The person who's connected to holy people, he's doing what he can. Whatever he can, he's going to do Torah, he's working. He's not talking about him, first of all. Like the Russian says, there's a rush. But they explain, the way to explain what their problem is that it means something in terms of just being here in this world. Basically, says, sometimes a guy can have a good time here, what? But Shabbat says, no one has really good, like Mr. Shabbat says, come on, a good time. And how long is it going to last? And then things start breaking down, it starts getting slower, come on. It's never worth it really. No one would want for physical to be here. It's not worth it. You're here, you have a choice maybe, but it's like a little remote choice, It isn't drastic. So you're here, you showed up here, but most people would not agree.